This story has 15, well, technically 16 updates. It also has trigger warnings for childhood trauma, neglect of an infant, child abandonment, and physical violence. So if you don't want to hear about those, then please do not watch this video. My mom asked me to watch my siblings for a week. It's been 9 weeks. My mom went out 2 days before Christmas and then texted me 12 hours later saying she would be gone for a week and for me to have the kids. She hasn't come back since, so almost 9 weeks. I have heard from her 3 times total, and she is saying she isn't coming back anytime soon. She just keeps sending money. My siblings are 16, 13, 12, 9, and 7. I'm 19. I'm surviving looking after the kids by myself, and to be honest, not much has changed because I did most of it when my mom was here anyway. We live with our nan, but she doesn't help with them really either, and my older siblings are long moved out. I guess my question is my mom being gone a serious issue legally and with social services? I don't want to risk the kids going into care, been there, done that when I was younger, so I haven't told anyone that she's gone. I'm scared of what will happen if people find out, so I don't want to even ask the question in real life. Update 1. I spoke to my mom on the phone and told her I want her to give me custody of the kids since she is refusing to come back or say when she will be back, and I'm done with her bullcrap. We argued for like an hour, but in the end, she said she would do it after I told her I was going to call the police on her. Before speaking to her, I spoke to a lawyer, and I should be able to get legal guardianship through a parenting order, which will go through court. My 22-year-old brother said he will move home and help me, under the condition that my mom doesn't move back as he refuses to be around her. His income and input will help a lot, and he seems serious about wanting to be involved with parenting and taking care of the kids, especially our little brother, as he needs a male role model badly. If we can't get custody, then my nan should be able to. Either way, my mom is very unlikely to keep custody unless she suddenly decides she gives a crap. I would bet my life she will never give a flying screw. Getting legal custody is the outcome I want, so I'm relieved it seems like a real possibility. Now I'm just doing a total overhaul of everything with the kids because I think they need a lot more structure, discipline, rules, routine than they have had until now. I have realized I don't really know anything about good parenting, so I have a lot to learn. Maybe I will get some books. Until now, our house has been more like a house share, with everyone doing what they want and running around feral, rather than anyone really guiding the kids. I grew up even more feral, and I don't think it's a good way to be raised. So I'm starting a bath and bedtime routine for the youngest two, and a curfew for the teenagers because right now the 12-year-old goes off on his skateboard and will just show up again at like 10 p.m. on a school night. I've also been giving them much better food than they usually have, and it's been rough to get them to eat healthy, but we have made so much progress already. Any advice on instilling rules would be welcome, as I don't think it will be easy, and I have never had any kind of actual parent role model in my life. Update 2. Hi. Not sure if doing multiple updates is okay, but I have had a lot of messages since the BORU post and think it will be easier to update people who are interested like this, as replying to all is hard. Thanks to advice here, we have realized that getting kinship is a better choice for us financially than getting legal guardianship. But this wasn't mentioned to us by the lawyer or social services, so I'm so grateful for everyone here, as we will have so much less financial stress on kinship and we will get access to a lot more services for the kids. Things are already seeming so much less scary. My brother has come home to help me and is working remotely for his same job, which is ideal. He has been amazing in making it all happen so fast and packing up his life to move back. He is still back and forth at the moment, but should be here full time, besides a few days a month where he has to be there in person. Our oldest sister has said she will send some money every month to help us, but doesn't want to be involved other than that. I understand why, and am very grateful she is helping. Honestly, it hurts a bit that she refuses to talk about the kids or anything, but she is doing what she can handle right now, I guess. Our other sister is working FIFO right now and has suggested coming back on her weeks off to help out, but I'm not sure if that will actually happen or work well in reality. My brother doesn't get along with her very well and says he doesn't think living with her again will work. The kids are still struggling with the new rules, and we have had some issues. 16-year-old hates me, so my brother's trying to take over with her because I am bored of fighting with her. The others are doing better, but still so difficult. The 7-year-old wants sleep, which is the hardest thing right now because then I can't sleep, and I'm tired AF. She has meltdowns when she's tired, and she's always tired now, so she's always having meltdowns. I don't know what to do with her. Everything I try to make her sleep doesn't work that well. She says she doesn't know why she can't sleep, so I don't know where to even start. My brother tried to get her to bed, and she just cried and screamed for me. The 12-year-old is listening to our brother, which is the best thing to ever happen, because I was really worried about handling him since he listens to me never. The 13 and 9-year-old are easier and not stressing me out too much. So we are kind of divide and conquer now. My brother handles 2 and I handle the other 3. I have found out I am very protective of the younger ones and find it very difficult to let my brother discipline them, so it causes less problems between us if I deal with them. Still early days and hoping consistency will fix a lot of the smaller issues. Long term, we want to rent somewhere bigger as our Nan's house is very cramped and making things harder. This is long and messy. Sorry. Just wanted to update everyone who has asked and thank everyone again for the advice. Update 3. Back with another update for those who asked. Can't believe it's been over 3 months now. We applied for kinship and have had the provisional approval and the home inspection and some interviews. We've got a couple more things to do / still ongoing, and then we should be good. We got our first payment, which has been so good and really made me feel much more optimistic about everything because we will be able to actually do something other than just survive. The caseworker pretty much told me they don't want to have to find placements for this many kids, so us keeping them is their much preferred option, which is reassuring. My mom hasn't contacted me for a while. We thought she might show up on Easter because holidays are usually her time to cry about how much she misses our dad, and she usually prefers to ruin everyone's day with that. But she didn't come, thank God. Our Nan is still at our auntie's because she can't stand to be around us apparently, because I am trying to feed them good food and not let a 7-year-old disappear for hours on bicycles with kids 3+ years old. She is just me thinking I'm better than my Nan. A lot of people said to try co-equals, sleeping with the 7-year-old, so I have started doing that. It's helping a bit, and she actually will lay down, so that's a win, but she still cries a lot and tries to get up. She also does a death grip on me. So I have kind of accepted that I have to go to bed when she does. It's not the worst thing ever because I have been looking things up and reading online whilst I lay with her when she eventually calms down. I've ordered melatonin to try. I share a room with the 16-year-old and she doesn't want the 7-year-old in there, but it's kind of tough. I can't do anything about it until we can move house, which isn't going to be soon. It's not the most peaceful night with her in there because she kicks me and wakes up at random times, trying to chat or crying, but we are getting some sleep. She slept in my single bed with me from 4 months old until she was like 2. I clearly knew nothing about safe sleep, but my mom had sold the crib to try to annoy my dad, so she actually had nowhere else to sleep. And I haven't told her that because I don't want to tell her her mom didn't care that she didn't have a bed. But she seems to remember because she said, "We used to have sleepovers in your bed a lot, didn't we?" Also, I got 16-year-old earplugs and told her she can sleep in 7-year-old's bed in the other room if she prefers. I do my best to try to soothe 7-year-olds in general. She had one of her crying breakdowns last week and said she didn't feel safe or happy. Then she said she wishes I was her real mommy. I told her I am her real mommy because I've looked after her whole life and I won't ever leave her. She seems a bit happier since then. I'm going to get a photo of us for her to have in her little purse she carries everywhere. She's pretty sentimental, so she will like that. Yesterday, she asked me if me and our brother are married. Obviously, I said no, and she said, "I just feel like you are my mom and dad." I hope that's a good thing, even if it is a little weird. She is definitely bonding with him too. She always wants me to carry her around. And when I say no because I'm busy, he offers to do it and she lets him now. She used to ignore him. Seeing her snuggle into his neck and actually relax is the cutest thing. Makes my heart happy because I remember wishing I had a dad who would hold me, and I'm so glad she is getting all the love. Me and my brother have had a few disagreements over discipline. He is pretty strict, and usually that's a good thing because they need it, to be honest, but sometimes I find it a bit much. Biggest disagreement was when he smacked the 9-year-old and I lost my crap. We grew up with a lot much worse, and not gonna lie, I have smacked them before, but I don't want to be doing that anymore. Bro thinks there's nothing wrong with one smack on the bum. I would just rather we don't go there. He said he won't do it again, and I don't think he will. He wasn't angry when he did it, so I'm not really concerned about it. And he apologized to the 9-year-old. We're just still trying to figure out discipline. Our dad used an electric cord as a whip, so one smack on the bum is practically gentle parenting to us. I have read enough to know we don't want to be doing any physical disciplining, though. Worst thing I've had to do is give the youngest 2 suppositories. My sister gave me money to take them to the GP because I was worried about them and couldn't find any for free and didn't want to wait for kinship. Turns out they are both malnourished, underweight, and constipated AF, and they've missed some vaccines. For the constipation, we tried medicine and more fiber and more water, but no bueno, so it had to be the suppositories because the doctor said it was verging on severe. Second service, I tried to explain it to them and make the whole thing easy, but it turned into quite the drama. The 9-year-old was easier, but still took me a while. The 7-year-old was impossible, and everyone got too stressed on day one, so we left it, and she was still not complying on day two. So my brother had to get involved and pretty much had to hold her down because I called the doctor, and she said either we do it or I take her in and they do it. So we had no choice really, and I still feel horrible about it. I'm obsessed with what they're eating now because I do not want anyone going through that again. But I will say they are a lot better since. They aren't getting tummy aches and they aren't so grouchy. And it has helped 7-year-old with her sleep for sure. We are getting the other 3 to the doctor next week. We will do telehealth after, but I want them to see someone in person for the first appointment. After that, the next thing on the list is a dentist. We have looked at therapy and should be getting telehealth sessions soon. So far, all 3 teenagers have said they aren't doing therapy, but I will try to make them at least try it. The 16-year-old is still difficult. She took my ID and she went out whenever she liked, but my brother grounded her and she has actually listened and not tried to sneak out. The other 3 are doing okay. No big issues with them, to be honest. They are adapting pretty well, I think. I try to talk to them all about everything when I can, and they all seem to understand what's going on and trust that we won't be going anywhere, and we just need them to cooperate with us so we can get through. My little brother, Jay, 12, is obsessed with older brother. I used to have an issue with Jay going out every evening for hours and was so stressed about trying to keep him home and safe, but Matt being here has basically eliminated the issue. Jay just wants to be around him all the time, and Matt has somehow got this kid thinking doing homework with him is the best thing ever. Sorry this is so long again. I don't know how long I will keep doing these updates, but for now everyone is so incredibly helpful that I will carry on posting because I always need more advice. The advice and support from everyone in the comments and PM has been amazing and has actually helped change our day-to-day life for the better, so thank you so much, internet strangers. Feeling like crap. My previous posts explain everything, but short version is, our mom left right before Christmas, and I'm now looking after my 5 younger siblings. The 16-year-old has been a pain in the ass the whole time, so unhelpful, permanently grumpy, and arguing about everything, and winding up the younger ones just to be annoying, basically making my life harder every chance she gets. She got her phone confiscated today because she was videoing our little sister having an emotional meltdown and laughing at her. Later on, whilst I was putting the phone away, I saw a message from our mum pop up saying some horrible crap. My mum hasn't messaged me in weeks, and 16-year-old hasn't mentioned messaging her at all, so I was like, what the frick? Took me a few attempts to get into her phone, but I got in and saw so many messages. Mostly her begging our mum to come home and our mum either ignoring her or telling her to come to the city she's in right now. 16-year-old sent her so many messages saying our younger siblings need her, and our mum replied saying, I think I know how to raise them better, so she is leaving me to it since I don't want her here. Most recent one was 16-year-old asking why she doesn't care about us, and our mom basically saying she has better things to do than sit here and listen to us all tell her everything she is doing wrong all the time. I knew she was having a hard time, but reading her messages to our mom has broken me, and I just want to stop her from hurting so much. She basically hates me right now, so comforting her is very hard because she will not open up even a bit, and whenever I speak to her about it, she acts like she doesn't care. I don't know what to do or say to her. Meanwhile, my older sister just calls me periodically to tell me she wishes she could help, but she can't because of a list of reasons, including but not limited to her not being able to face being around our youngest sister because our parents said she was her replacement and older sis can't get over it. Which is like, okay, but baby sis just turned 7 and big sis is almost 2. So at some point, she needs to try to get past that and realize it's not the little one's fault. And my big sis is struggling because she feels like I'm her kid apparently, and she wanted me to come live with her when I was younger, but I chose to stay here and let my mom get away with not parenting. But the alternative is my siblings being neglected and abused like we were. Anyway, for real, I don't have time to be dealing with her emotional issues on top of everyone else's. And she's whining to me like, oh, I had to take time off work because I'm having a hard time mentally, which makes me feel so great when I am working my ass off to feed 5 kids and dealing with a million behavioral issues a day and don't have time to do anything before everyone starts shouting therapy. Yeah, it's in the works. Trying to get telehealth arranged, but it's taking forever. We can't afford anything else, so that's the best we have for now. Until then, it's good old-fashioned, just get on with it and try not to screw the kids up any more than they are already. Update 4. Another update because my inbox is still flooded and I can't reply to everyone, so just going to say it all here for you guys and anyone else who wants to know. Been like 5 months now, Jesus frigging Christ. Firstly, thank you for all the nice messages and offers of help and stuff. I really do appreciate it, and sorry if I haven't replied, but I have had literally hundreds of messages, and it's kind of overwhelming for me. I have read most of them and am still trying to reply to more, but it's a big job. Currently, things are going okay. Big things that have happened / are happening. My older sister, the second oldest, is coming to visit soon. The relationship between her and my older brother is kind of strained because of some crap that happened when they were younger, and the 3 older ones all lived together for a bit after leaving home. Honestly, I think it was just a crap show having 3 damaged teenagers living together in a new place with no support. I don't have time to be the mediator though, so I just told them if they can't get along, then my sister will need to leave because the kids don't need any more drama and my brother needs to focus on being a parent. She's coming because she wants to, and she said she won't cause any drama, she just wants to help. We'll see how it goes anyway, but I'm low-key dreading it. Last time I saw this sister was years ago though, so I'm trying to not think she's gonna be the same as she was when she was a teenager. We have started planning to move to WA. My brother is desperate to get out of our town and not have to worry about our parents showing up. He gets a lot of anxiety about it. He doesn't like me being at home without him being here. His job will help him move over there, and he has been set on it for a while now. We will be able to transfer over there even with the kids being on kinship care, which is basically the only thing I was worried about. Which that's confirmed, we will be fine to do it, so now I'm on board with it. Won't be anytime soon, but hopefully end of the year we can move. Financially, we are doing pretty good. We have the kinship money, mine and my brother's wages, and my older sisters have been sending money consistently. My brother is good with money, and we are able to save some. I was able to buy the kids a small present each to cheer them up on Mother's Day. They have barely any toys, so the little ones are psyched to have some things to play with, and have been feral outdoors way less this week. They have been playing Legos and Barbies like normal children. The 7-year-old sleeps so well when I give her melatonin. I don't do it every night, but when I do, it's like a mini holiday. She sometimes wakes up mad, but I can deal with that when I have actually slept. Other nights, when she doesn't have it, I either keep her downstairs and hope she will fall asleep on me or my brother whilst watching TV, or I go through the emotional bedtime routine of her crying and saying she doesn't want to go to bed whilst I read the same 3 stories until she chills out. She is doing better at school again now. It was pretty bad for a while. Obviously, because she was permanently exhausted and surviving on literal air only because the kid wouldn't sleep or eat. Right now, 9 and 13-year-olds are doing the telehealth therapy sessions. The 7-year-old won't speak to the therapist, so she's having indirect help through me. The 12-year-old hates it, so my brother is trying to learn techniques to help him. The 16-year-old refused, which I was expecting anyway, tried to force her to do it, and that didn't go well. So again, I just try to give her indirect help. I had some one-on-one time with her recently, and she was different in a good way. She lets her guard down when the younger kids aren't there, like she can be vulnerable or whatever. She said, "Thank you for looking after us," to me on Mother's Day. Haven't seen any more messages on the 16-year-old's phone from our mom. She has completely stopped messaging any of us. The last thing she said to me was, she doesn't know why I'm turning her kids against her. Kind of hilarious, to be honest, but just proves she is deep in Delulu land. On Mother's Day, the 7-year-old went outside 4 times before 8 a.m. to make sure Mum isn't coming down the road, and she has been crying about our dad. Not sure why exactly. When I ask, she just says she's worried about him. The 9-year-old gets annoyed with her and tells her to stop crying because our dad is a bad person. So she says she doesn't have kids, points to the screen, and gets in her car. She walks away and says she is also very defensive of me and my brother and tries to police all the other kids and tells them to behave and be nice to us and don't argue / backchat / misbehave. I think she's concerned we will get fed up and leave. Of course, I reassure her we won't, and she doesn't need to tell the others off. It's kind of funny anyway, to be honest, because she is no angel herself. Their diet is a lot better. We still have issues with every meal of every day, but overall it's better. And they are doing well with trying to eat new things. Years of ramen and chicken nuggets have obviously been horrible for our bodies. But they all have at least 1 fruit or veg a day and have real dinners. They like pasta bake, so that's the new ramen around here. My brother cooks curry and tries to get them to eat it, but that doesn't go down so well. They like when he makes chicken and potatoes. 7-year-old likes bluey pouches of vanilla custard and would eat those for every meal if I let her. My oldest sister is still a pain in the ass and wants to talk about our trauma all the time. She just has more time to dwell than I do. I have no time to dwell. I asked her to please not message me unless it's positive or helpful. Her reply showed she really is just jealous that I am giving all my time and energy to the kids, but I really don't have it in me to look after an adult's emotional needs as well. She sees me as her kid and she wants to see me, but doesn't want to see the younger ones. Like she asked me to come visit and leave them with my brother for a few days. I'm not going to leave insecure kids who are permanently stressed that I will leave for good. Imagine how stressed they would be the whole time. She also thinks I am babying them, but I'm just treating them like children. Mostly it's just annoying that she is like this, but it's also partly upsetting because, to be honest, there is nothing I would love more than for her to meet and love the 7-year-old. For me, it would be like my mom meeting my child because my oldest sister raised me when I was really young, and 7-year-old is the only one of the kids I have fully raised since she was a tiny baby, and my mom told me she didn't want her. Anyway, I am trying not to get too caught up in everything with my older sister because I have enough going on with all the kids. My grandma is still at my aunt's house and very unhelpful, but she's not bothering me much, so that's ideal. She mentioned wanting my cousin to move in here because he got kicked out by his girlfriend and has nowhere to live. But screw that for real, he's a creep and a drug addict, so no way's that happening. Over my dead body. Okay, this is taking me like 3 days to finish writing, and I've probably forgotten some stuff, but really just wanted to say thanks for the support, and I'm not ignoring my messages, I just am busy and overwhelmed. Update 5, my sister. It's the second oldest here visiting. She's 23. She is here right now and has been here now for a few days. When she first got here, I arranged with her to arrive in the evening after the younger kids go to bed because I thought it would be a bit much and knew she would be emotional. She was shaking when she arrived, so definitely the right call because the little kids would have been freaked out. The first evening, I was like, hell, this is not going to be good because she was a serious wreck and wasn't sure she could stay. But then she slept on it and woke up way better and wasn't too emotional, except at meeting the younger ones since she hasn't seen them in so many years. Since then, things have been good. Honestly, it has been better than I thought, and I feel kind of bad for dreading it so much. She is obviously different from her teenage self. She's never been really maternal or anything, and in my head, that was a bad thing, but it's actually good because she's hanging out with the kids as a sister, not a third parent figure. The 16-year-old is very similar in personality to her, so she has enjoyed having her here and having an adult to talk to who isn't me or Matt. The 13-year-old is clingy AF recently, and having my sister here means she has clung to her instead of me all the time. The 12-year-old is not impressed about having another girl in the house and says she stinks of perfume. Yeah. The 9-year-old wants to know why she's here and when she's leaving and if she's going to visit again. But when she isn't, worrying, she is having fun getting my sister to do different hairstyles for her. And the 7-year-old only has eyes for me and is totally psyched when all the others are hanging out with Big Sis so she can have me to herself. She did ask my sister to let her out of timeout and was best buddies with her for 10 minutes until she got over being annoyed with me. I have got some time with my sister alone, which has been nice to properly speak to her and get her opinion on some stuff and have her clear up things that happened with my dad. She definitely has a lot of issues still, but she is doing good for herself and pretty happy and isn't spiraling like our oldest sister. She pretty much said the oldest sis has a lot of guilt issues for leaving and was expecting me to move in with her at 16, so is struggling a lot that I didn't and don't get how I was able to stay when she couldn't. Pretty sad hearing it, to be honest, and I will definitely talk to my oldest sister again and try to help her, but I don't want to get sucked into being her therapist. Matt has got along with her fine too, but they aren't besties, but they seem like they have put their issues aside and can handle being around each other, which they definitely couldn't do a couple years back. I don't know why exactly, but seems like Matt and oldest sis had guilt issues, and my other sister didn't. She has always been self-centered, but to be honest, it seems like that might be a good thing for her sake, and they had a lot of arguments about what they should and shouldn't be doing when they left. I think essentially middle sis was having too much fun and enjoying her life too much for the other two to handle because they didn't think she gave a crap about the rest of us, which she probably didn't, but that's good for her, I guess. Anyway, she is staying for the week, I think, since it's going pretty well. Other things, my nan is still winding me the freak up all the time. She whines at me daily about wanting my cousin to come live here, and she threatens to kick us out all the time, even though she told our caseworker we can live here as long as we need. Try not to waste my energy getting pissed off at her because my patience is running thin as it is, but Jesus freaking Christ, she is so annoying and so angry because she's offended that I told her she's a crap parent and grandparent. My mom may have found my dad. I only suspect it because she has been messaging me demanding photos of my 12-year-old brother, and chances are she just wants to show my dad that he looks like him. She only gives a crap about her kids when she's trying to use them to make our dad love her. I told her to go screw herself because I'm not sending her any photos. Like, get a screwing grip. If you don't already have photos of your own child on your phone, that's a you problem. She has been a witch to him his entire life anyway. If dad leaves soon after you're born, or whilst she's still pregnant with you, you're in her bad books for life. 22, me, 16, 12, and 7 were all in the bad books before we could hold our own heads up. And the oldest two are in the bad books for not being quiet about him abusing them and letting it continue so my mom could live her dream of having my dad at home. Information has been really patchy, but last I heard, they think my mom would have gotten pregnant in late January because the baby is preemie. I suspected when she left at Christmas that she had found out where our dad was, so she must have been with him for I don't know how long. Doubt she's still with him because she usually plays happy families with the new baby if my dad is still there when it's born. My mom carries strep B, so it's not the first time she's had a newborn with serious issues from that. We don't even know what day she was born on. I'm so mad at her that she didn't tell me she was pregnant or come home to have the baby. I would have made sure she got medical care and she would be okay. I'll know more when I get there, but it sounds like my mom didn't have her in hospital, which again wouldn't be the first time she's done that. I've had to just leave Matt with the kids and hope things will be okay. He says he's got it, but I don't know, and obviously me leaving didn't go down well with 7-year-old. The 16-year-old is like a new person since we found out and is suddenly the most helpful person ever. And now I've gone, she keeps messaging me that things are fine at home and that she wants me to bring the baby home with me. She's the only kid who even knows about the baby. The others think I'm helping our sister with something. I just don't know what to do. Imagining letting her go live with strangers sends me into literal blind panic. I've been in foster care and it was horrible. I know it's different for babies, but like, how can I risk her going to live with people who might not love her? I know I will love her and she will be okay with us. But the other part of me is like, can I realistically have another kid at home? And what if she gets adopted by amazing people and has an incredible life? I don't know what to do. The caseworker is saying that staying with family is a priority, and it would most likely be possible for us to have her if we want her. But I don't want to say, yeah, I want her and have all this stuff happen and then take her home and realize, OMFG, I can't do this. A baby is a lot and a lot different from school-aged kids. But I have done it before, and I was like 13 last time I was doing night feeds, so surely at 20 I can do it. Her 7-year-old is finally mostly sleeping in her own bed, and I've actually been sleeping at last. But I feel like an idiot if I say, yeah, give this human child away just so I can get a bit more sleep. That's crazy. Matt is saying we could bring her home and see how it goes as a temporary thing, but I don't want to just say, yeah, okay, let's bring her home like a pet cat or fish. I want to be certain that it's the right choice. I will get so attached and so will she, and that's not fair because if it turns out it's impossible to have this many kids, then what the hell do we do? I mean, I guess nothing is impossible. Haha. I don't know. I just hate the thought of giving her to random people. I know through the years, all of us will be together and my head will be constantly like, how's the baby? Where's the baby right now? What if she's lonely? What if no one loves her? What if she has no one to play with? Maybe she's hungry. I will be torturing myself forever. I don't know how people give a kid away. She's not even my screwing kid. And I'm like, no, you're part of me. I need to keep you with me. But what if I can't? Financially, it will be okay because we get decent money for kinship and between us, we can make enough money to be okay. When we move before Christmas, hopefully, there will be 3 adults in the house because our older sister is moving with us, plus 16 will be 17 by then. By the end of Feb, all the kids will have had their birthdays, so they will be 14, 13, 10, and 8, just getting more independent, and then bam, newborn. I don't know what to do. My oldest sister's like, screw this, you need to get her adopted. Everyone else wants to try to keep her. I just want to use a crystal ball so I could see how things turn out either way. And then decide because the thought of regretting this choice for the rest of my life is really making me so stressed. Not really looking for advice, to be honest, because I don't want the life of a literal baby being decided by Reddit, as that just seems screwed up. and I want it to be the right choice for us that we have made with the caseworkers. I'm just rambling because it's an 8th-art journey and I need to stop spamming Matt and my sisters with my constant thoughts. But yeah, for everyone who was messaging me like, your mom will have another one, you called it, I guess. Yeah. Update 10. Short update as I don't have much time, but everyone is messaging me today asking what's happening. Baby is doing really well. The past week has been up and down and still got a few issues at the moment, but there's a super good chance she will be totally fine. She looks like an alien and she has a cannula in her tiny head, but she's okay, according to literally every nurse and doctor I keep harassing about her, because to look at her, you'd think this baby is not well. They are like, no, she's doing great. But yeah, if she wasn't brought to the hospital when she was, she would be dead. They still haven't found my mom. No idea where she is, but most likely left the city. Maybe she actually realizes she screwed up this time, and you can't leave your newborn with random addicts. We are getting temporary custody and hopefully bringing her straight home when she gets discharged. If everything is sorted by then, need to actually see if we can manage it before we make a solid decision. So it makes sense to do it this way and the caseworker is fully on board. I'm worried about everyone getting attached and then it not working out. But after talking about it all week, we think it's better to try and fail than not try and wonder what if. Had to tell the kids about her, obviously, and they are all like, this is the best thing ever, and excited. But I don't know. I think they think she'll be a quiet, adorable doll, and the little girls think they get to name her, so it's all fun to them. She won't be called Calypso or Lilo or Rapunzel, though, and she definitely isn't quiet, so I don't know if the excitement will last long once we get home. We'll see. I'm anxious to just get home and have an actual conversation with Matt and my sister, because right now it feels like they are like, yeah, we can keep her, but I'm the only one thinking about things long term and like the actual logistics of having an infant. Update 11. Hey, so everyone has been messaging me offering us money or gifts and stuff since my first post, but it's a lot more at the moment because of the baby. I don't want to keep replying the same thing, so we'll just say here instead. So we are really doing okay. I don't know if most of you are from the USA, but here in Australia, we get good money for kinship, like more money than we have ever had before by a long way. We also get discounts on some stuff. I know how to feed 5 kids on very little money, and I'm still in that habit, so the money we get now covers what we need and more. Me and Matt both have jobs, and our older sisters give us money as well when they can. Matt has literally been saving some money for when we move and for emergencies, because he can. So I think our mindsets are different. Not saying we are going to be going on holidays and buying anything we want, but we have enough to get by, and we'll be able to give the kids an actual Christmas this year. They can probably count on one hand all the presents they have had until now. Birthdays didn't exist in our family before, so if we get them a cake and a couple of gifts, they will be amazed. I bought myself some clothes recently, and that was crazy to me, to get new stuff and not have to think. It's either clothes or food or whatever. Like I could just buy them because I wanted to, and it was okay. So yeah, I don't want them to get an avalanche of presents and end up not caring as much about what they do have. Honestly, can't imagine having an Amazon wish list and things just showing up at our house. They would probably all have heart attacks. And for the baby stuff, Matt has posted in some Facebook groups and has people offering things we need for free or cheap. So he has already arranged for us to have most of the big things we need, and the money we get for her from the Gov will pay for some of the rest of it. I appreciate the offers so much, but I wouldn't feel right taking them when we are able to save some money at the moment, which is honestly crazy to me. And I know so many people who can't save $10 a week if they wanted to. So if you are offering stuff to us PLs, give it to another family who probably needs it more. We used to struggle so much, and there's still so many people in that situation. I guess most people would still say we are poor or whatever, but we used to be way worse than poor. We don't share instant noodles for dinner anymore, so we are good. Sorry for rambling again, and thanks for everyone being so kind and helpful. Update 12. I never know how to start these, lol. Hi. I know people want to know about the baby, so update is she is doing good. We finally got her home. Was a mission for real, and the weirdest combo of stress/relief when we finally did it. As far as babies go, she is on the easier side, I would say. At the moment, she sleeps a ton, and I literally have to wake her up to feed her, and even then, she falls asleep halfway through a bottle. My life legit revolves around bottles. Cleaning bottles, sterilizing bottles, making bottles, logging how much she drank, tracking how long until the bottles expire, getting confused which bottle is which, so making them again because I'm paranoid I'm going to give her an expired one. It never ends. So funny that there's that whole debate about how bottle feeding is lazy or whatever and the easy way out, because I swear I wish I gave birth to this kid so I could just feed her from my tits and be done with it. Dealing with bottles is so time consuming. But not going to lie, the baby herself is not a huge deal. It's the addition of the baby to the existing chaos that's kind of freaked, because they all have such different needs already. Like, I thought the 713 gap was huge and a pain in the ass to keep them all happy, but now it's like, let's entertain you all and remember the feeding schedule of an infant. On the upside, I don't have to do many nappy changes at the moment because all the kids want to help with the baby all the time. So as soon as I say she needs to be changed, they are all fighting over whose turn it is, which is hilarious. And I hope it lasts. Don't want to talk about my mom, to be honest, except to say the baby is a full sibling, so she is my dad's. I knew she was anyway, but we got DNA done to confirm, as people have asked. Had a convo with my mom that I honestly want to delete because it's so bad, but I can't. So yeah, hoping she just gets locked up. A TP, I'm so screwing done, but doesn't seem like any efforts being made to actually find her. Like, they don't give a screw. Sounds like they will do something if she walks into the station like, hey, arrest me. Obviously, I'm sleep deprived, which is actually more from 7-year-old than from the baby, and stressed out. But I was already both of those things before. So to be honest, it doesn't feel crazy different right now. I'm just more sleep deprived and more stressed. But like, okay, what else is new? I just have a tiny baby monkey asleep somewhere near me at all times. The kids are doing well and have had a couple jealousy issues with the younger ones, but mostly they have been really great. Not expecting that to last once the novelty of the baby wears off. The 7-year-old is up and down on how happy she is about sharing me, but it's not been too bad because there are enough people that someone can usually hold the baby so I can focus on 7 or 9 or whoever. I've given up trying to get them to be quiet around the baby because they want, and so far she sleeps through everything anyway. The 17-year-old had her birthday, the first B-day we have properly celebrated like ever. Can't wait for the others to have their birthdays now. Has been literally amazing. I'm like, who are you? Compared to the total pain in my ass she was before, she's been so good. Helps me out a lot, even though I tell her she doesn't have to. Won't go into it all here because it's her private business, not for me to share, but she's had some huge breakthroughs with therapy, and seems like since the baby, she has realized our mom is beyond screwed, and she's shifted her anger off me and onto her. She's full in protective mode over the baby, which is crazy for me to see because she normally couldn't give a crap about the younger kids. Not saying everything is perfect there. We still have some issues going on, but she is so helpful at the moment and just like thoughtful. I don't know. It's nice. I think maybe we will end up being friends. My oldest sister, not so much. She's hella pissed me off because she is so against me taking the baby and has been going on rants about me being an enabler and how I need more therapy because I can't keep cleaning up our mom's mess. Like, okay, firstly, guess she hasn't noticed our mom couldn't give a screw, and if she wants to have 10 more babies, she would, whether I took this one or gave her away. So I could send the baby to outer space. My mom still wouldn't care and would have another one if she thought it would get my dad's attention. And yet I'm not really here for her calling the baby it and acting like I should literally give her away like she's an unwanted toy or whatever. So I'm not speaking to her at the moment. It makes me upset because I love her, but I can't mentally deal with her right now if she's going to be like that. Had to name the baby, so I called her the name I have always wanted to call my own kid because who knows if I will have one. And I thought it would help me bond with her because I have an emotional attachment to that name, like I have loved it forever. But I can't stop calling her the baby because she doesn't suit having an actual name yet, lol. She's like too little, I guess. I'm trying to ease into calling her her name by using a nickname, but I legit sit there in the middle of the night speaking to her and trying to call her her name and just end up being like, nope, you are just a baby. Rambling again, so I'll wrap it up because I don't know who has time to read this crap, but we are all set to move as well. A bit later than planned, but whatever. Matt flew over for a few days to sort out the house, and my older sister is going to go over a week before we move to get everything fully ready, which is definitely needed now we have the baby. She's complicated things a lot, but we are figuring it out. It's costing a crap ton to move, but once it's done, I think everything will be so much better. No dealing with our nan, and will be less cramped. And my sister will be living with us, so we will have 3 adults and the new and improved version of the 17-year-old, which means it's 3.5, against 2 teenagers, 2 kids, and a newborn, which isn't so awful. Wait for me to take that back, but I hope it will all be okay and feel easier, and our parents won't know where we are. so Matt will finally chill out and stop having daily heart attacks about kids being here, there, and everywhere around town, or me being home alone, or whatever. That's all I can be bothered to write. And again, I've written this in 3 different sittings this week, so if it doesn't make sense, please just excuse my tired, rambling brain. LOL. Update 13. Little update because I'm double nap trapped. Is it still a nap if it's 11 p.m.? I don't know, but neither of them are out for the night, so I guess it is by the baby and the 7-year-old, and I'm angry, so I want to type LOL. Kind of drowning at the moment, but literally not even because of the kids, because of all the mother freaking adults who want to make my life harder constant. My oldest sister is so freaking annoying, like literally give it a rest. I don't care what you think. My nan is raging about so many things. I told her to write a list and drop it off at this point. She was raging about my older sister being in her house since she ruined your mom's life, which is so delusional I can't even believe she said it. And she's raging that I'm taking her grandkids away from their roots and their family. So stupid because she hasn't even tried to see them in months. And a whole bunch of other crap I'm too pissed off to even write. My aunt and uncle have chosen now of all times to start demanding my nan comes back to live here, and I'm saying no screwing way because we are moving this week and I'm not about to move kids around to make space for her when they have a spare room and can keep her for legit a few more days until we are gone. My uncle starts threatening me, says I'm being ungrateful and a brat, yada yada yap, be for real. I don't need to be grateful to you for letting our nan live there when she chose to move out. Not like I even suggested it. She just didn't like that I was telling the kids to listen to me and not her. Not like I wanted to be the one doing everything, but she couldn't be trusted to parent a MF cat, let alone actual kids. Take my mom as the example of what my nan creates. Told my aunt and uncle they can shut the freak up and keep her until we leave and then preferably never speak to me again. I'm so done, so over it, so ready to get out of here. Then my oldest sister calls the 17-year-old crying. So of course I take the phone and she's just going on about her problems. And I tell her I'm too stressed to deal with her right now. She's all, I told you so, you shouldn't have taken the baby, which this baby just sleeps. She's fine. I'm stressed because of a bunch of adults who can't act like adults or understand any other point of view but their own. I know why my sister doesn't want me to have the baby, but she keeps telling me again and again. I have to talk to her like I talk to the little kids and be like, I am listening to you, and I heard you, and I'm taking it on board. I just don't agree with you. Nothing else needs to be said. Same for me, the same for everybody. It's all good stuff. I had originally told her she was welcome to come over to WA with us, as I knew all of us being together was upsetting her, and I don't want her to feel unwelcome, but I just took that back because I can't think of anything worse than her being around the kids. Anyway, then there's the actual stressful example, moving across the country and having to pack up everything for this many people. I mean, it's a good time to be poor with not many belongings. To be honest, I don't know how people do this when they have a crap ton of stuff. The 7-year-old is freaking the freak out because one of her lovies is missing and she will not move without it. I don't know if I've mentioned the lovies here before. Probably have, to be honest. They are the bane of my existence, but they're a bunch of old muslin cloths she is very attached to. She thinks of them as her dolls, and her favorite thing to do is make them have a tea party, but it's legit just a bunch of rags in a circle around an empty can of Sprite. Some of them are falling apart literally, but she loves them. So whatever. If a rag makes you happy, that's cool, but having to look for them all the time is not fun. Before people say to get her some actual dolls, I have, but they don't hit the same, I guess. So yeah, finding that is way higher on my priority list than it really should be. On the subject of losing things, the 17-year-old lost her screwing mind the other day, and we almost had a fist fight. I was on the edge from all the other stress, and she was screaming at me and my older sister, number 2, and I was so done I actually lost it, which I usually don't do. She ended up being like, "Are you gonna freaking hit me?" And I was almost like, "Yes, witch, let's go." That I hung on to my last shred of restraint, and my other sister got involved, ending up making the 17-year-old cry. And then I had to be all nice and comfort her because my older sister is so unmaternal, it's unreal. She's just like, well, if you didn't act like an a-hole, I wouldn't have yelled at you. Anyway, we are over it now. I apologized and she apologized. We understand each other and we're moving on. She's just stressed about moving and I'm stressed about all of the above. So whatever it was going to happen, my older sister is already at the new house getting it ready because we didn't want to show up with all these dang kids and nothing prepared. Matt is being a stress head as well, so that's hell fun because I don't even have his calm energy to keep me from losing it. Um, just keep telling myself in a few days it's all over and taking it an hour at a time. Rest of the kids are fine, had some kind of issue with every single one of them in the last couple weeks, but I knew we would because it's Christmas time and we are moving from their friends to their school to their house, so they are a bit on edge. But they're good considering everything. Like I said, they are not my biggest problem right now. Baby is just being a baby. She's pretty happy, and I'm pretty jealous of her, not gonna lie. Just sits there with zero clue what's going on. When packing up, I found some old baby clothes and literally got so triggered because some of them had what I'm pretty sure is blood stains, and it brought up a lot of feelings about everything. Had a full mental breakdown whilst everyone was asleep, and then the baby woke up and brought me back to reality. And not to get emotional, but to be honest, it made me so grateful for her. Like just sitting there with her makes me think about how things are so much better now and how she will have no idea about any of this crap. So screwing glad she's not with my mom right now and will hopefully never have to see her. Little update turned into a big one as usual. Sorry I can't stop when I get going, but yeah, that's where we are at right now. Pray for me flying with all these little mother effers. It's legit everyone's first ever flight and getting them settled into a whole new life, which we hope will actually be better and worth the hell of moving. Update 14. We are in the new place. Things are mostly good, if still pretty chaotic. Love the new house, and it's amazing having so much more space and just feeling like it's a fresh start. My sister came over in advance, and it was so good arriving at the house being half set up already. She put all the beds together and had new bedding on already, first time for everyone. So that made things smoother. Honestly, I had so many plans for everything we would do when we got here, but we haven't done any of it. We are just loving being in the house with the aircon. I try to get the kids to the park early morning or in the evening when it's cooler so they can get some fresh air, but that's like the extent of our outings. Matt and my sister have run errands and they take a kid or two with them usually, but yeah, we are mostly just enjoying the house. It sounds dramatic, but Matt is like a different person. It's like I saw the weight go off him when we got here. He sings in the shower now, LMAO. The flight over was hell, literally so bad I had it all planned out, who was sitting where and who was looking after which kid. Nope, the baby cried on and off the whole time, so I was too terrified to move a muscle in case she started up again. The 13-year-old was moody and stressed about the baby crying, and I had to switch her to sit elsewhere before she made me lose my crap. The 9-year-old, as it turns out, hates flying, so she was crying at takeoff and landing and a few times in between, saying she wanted to get off. The 7-year-old kept needing a pee literally every 10 minutes. The 17-year-old took her a few times, but then was too embarrassed, so Matt took over. The 12-year-old was happy as can be, decided he wanted to be a pilot, and basically looked out the window the whole time and was zero trouble, except he did try walking off a couple times in the airport. He wanted to go in one of those massage chairs. So I guess that settles the debate on girls or boys being easier. And since we got into the house, it hasn't all been sunshine, rainbows, happy families. Day 2, the 13-year-old and the 9-year-old had an epic fight. 13 slammed 9's hand in the door in the process. She obviously started screaming, crying, and Matt went running. But as he got there, the 12-year-old was already there and swinging for 13-year-old because he was defending Lil Sis. Matt reads the entire situation wrong and thinks the 12-year-old is on the rampage and hurts the 9-year-old, so he goes full ape crap at 12. The whole thing woke up the 7-year-old who was napping because she slept like crap the night before and was a grump. I was like, what the actual freak is going on? And everyone was screaming, and I was like, OMFG, what is my life? Told Matt to screw off because he was annoying me, and then I had crying / grumpy / scared the 7-year-old, crying / injured the 9-year-old, and crying the 12-year-old, all on my bed, whilst first 3-year-old shouted at me that it wasn't her fault and blah, blah, blah. I was ready to send her back to my nan, to be honest. Yeah, they fight a fair bit, but that was next level. I think we are going to have more of this bull crap as well, because Christmas Eve, it will be a year since my mom left, plus the kids are all worried about going to new schools. The 12-year-old cried about missing his mates, and I literally felt so awful because he rarely cries, so I know he's going through it right now. Matt and my older sister had an argument over discipline, and I had to bite my tongue so hard not to get involved. As soon as we have some time, I'm sitting down with them to discuss everything because, to be honest, I don't want my sister involved in parenting, really. partly because she will only be here 50% of the time, and partly because she is on a different wavelength to me and it would be hell. Unsustainable parenting the younger kids with completely different approaches. I decided my sister is pretty tough and acts like they are her friends, does not empathize that well with them, and won't be consistent with discipline because it would depend on her mood how much she could be bothered to do. Like, I will spend 45 minutes putting the youngest back in timeout until she quits fighting me and actually apologizes, because I know it will be worth it long term. My sister would be like, she doesn't need to apologize to anyone who even cares. I have seen her witness the 9-year-old pull out a chunk of the 7-year-old's hair and literally say, do that again and I'll threaten. Like, you kidding? That isn't a two-strike situation. So, yeah, I would prefer if she's just like actual big sister slash aunt vibes. Me and Matt already have an established good cop, bad cop routine going on, and it works. But I will talk to her and see where she's at. She can help with the 17 and 13 because we have very different issues with them. But the others, I think, need to just know me and Matt are the parents and sis is sis. And she sucks with babies, so that's fine. The little one is all mine. In more positive news, we have Christmas decorations for kind of the first real time, and the kids are very excited. They hide it well because they are used to disappointment, but I think they are secretly really psyched for an actual Christmas. The 7-year-old tried to write a letter to Santa for the first time and got very overwhelmed, didn't know what to ask for, and ended up crying because she doesn't think he will come anyway. I told her to just not worry about what to ask for, as Santa will know what she wants. Don't know what to even tell her about why he has never been before, but I can't wait for them to all get their presents. They are going to freak out. But also seeing her try to write made me super stressed about her being behind, and I legit emailed her new teacher to see if I can do anything to help her before she starts. And the 9-year-old is so happy she keeps saying she thinks this house is just a dream and she's going to wake up at Nan's again. Her and the baby are my little rays of sunshine right now. My oldest sister, I think, does crap just to rile me so she can speak to me, because we had another argument yesterday. She said some horrible crap, talked crap about multiple of my kids, basically told me I'm a bad parent and was like, you need to stop playing house. Then I stopped replying, and next thing she's like, I've sent you $500 for Christmas presents. Like, what the actual frick? Do you love me or hate me? I don't even know. Still got a screw ton to sort out with the house and everything, and settling in will take a bit. But so far, so good with all that, and we are happy to be away from our Nan and be out of that house and away from the constant bad memories. Anyway, as always, this is a big update, but it's only taken me 2 sittings for a change. All the kids are still asleep, so I have time, but I'm gonna go get the baby and feed her before they start waking up so she can eat in peace, lol. Update 15, very, very waffly Christmas post for everyone who has been asking how it was. I want to say it was hell, magical and perfect, but yeah, that was never gonna happen with this many feral kids. The 23rd and 24th were a lot because of it being a year since our mom left. The kids were clingy, a fuss, and just all wound up and like anxious, I guess. So the night of the 23rd, we had the 9-year-old and the 7-year-old literally not going to sleep whatsoever. They were a nightmare, to the point that the 17-year-old offered to take the baby for the night, and I had both girls in my bed, and Matt slept on the floor of my room on the 9-year-old's mattress. I didn't sleep the entire night. I hated the baby being in the other room and wanted to go get her, but couldn't risk waking the girls up, so I lay there thinking, freak my life. 24th, they were all just a bit weird and/or grumpy. Normally, they are all in pretty bad moods Christmas Eve because they are preparing for disappointment. So this year was that, plus all the feelings since it's been a year since she left, plus being in a new place, and I had told them all they were getting presents in advance because I wanted them to be excited this year and not be too overwhelmed on the day. But they were still all just not themselves and not exactly in good moods. Anyway, the morning of Christmas Day finally came, and it was magical, seeing them so excited and happy when they saw/opened their presents. I legit cried. Love them kids. They are so grateful for everything, and it kills me. They only got like 5 to 10 presents each, but it looked like a lot of gifts everywhere since there are so many of them. Me, Matt, and sis number 2 got each other a couple presents too, which was cool. The kids had a whole convo about how it looked like a movie Christmas in real life. The 7-year-old nearly died when she opened a box full of bluey custard pouches, and the 9-year-old opened one present and stopped for ages. And I was like, hey, aren't you going to open the rest? She was stunned that the others were for her as well. All day, the 7-year-old was like, I can't believe Santa knows where we live now. She also thinks Matt has his number and sent the updated address, so he gets the credits for that. She got a big hippo stuffy, which never left her side all day. The older ones were more quietly happy, but I could tell they were amazed. They all said really genuine thank you to me and Matt, which is a whole 180 from "Why don't you go screw yourself, loud?" I stupidly said as a joke, "You guys are all being very nice today, ha." Totally jinxed it because shortly after things went kinda downhill. I went to have a shower, washed my hair, thought, OMG, this day is gonna be so fun. Go get my baby back off my sister, and she immediately pukes in my hair because someone didn't burp her properly. Rest of the kids have turned chaotic as well. There were happy tears, sad tears, overwhelmed, plus the 9-year-old broke one of her presents in the first hour, so she was legit distraught. Arguments. I was so exhausted by lunchtime, I legit took the baby and had a nap with her, which I never do, but it was a lot. Told Matt and my sister to deal with the rest of them because I needed a break from the noise and the crying as I walk off with a 3-month-old. Matt took them all out, which was ideal. Had a day off from stressing about food and just told the kids they could eat whatever they wanted. We just literally did like pizza and nuggets and stuff I know they like and did like a buffet type thing so they could just eat whenever. Nothing really special because it wasn't the day to be trying to introduce new foods. I was already too tired and I didn't want to cook. Matt had some fancy smoked salmon and some other fish that he likes, but no one else really ate it and I didn't try force them because CBF. Everyone was hyper AF in the afternoon, even after Matt took them all to the beach. They got back and were more energetic than before I started to go. Almost lost my crap because they made the baby jump like 5 times and I was so done because I kept telling them to calm the freak down and they wouldn't. Matt worked some kind of magic and they listened to him. Pissed me off even more, to be honest, after they ignored me. Fat Boy, the youngest two, did some craft things they got from Santa, and the others were pretty chill, just watching some movies. Then we played a couple games and that was pretty good. Lots of emotions by the evening. I don't know what happened, but we went to make dinner, and suddenly I had kids disappearing off into different rooms to cry. The baby peed all over the 13-year-old's new blanket because someone, Matt, didn't put her nappy on properly. Such a juggling act, especially because the 7-year-old, who was usually the emotional one having meltdowns, was legit bouncing happily around the whole house. And I'm like, hey, buddy, can you chill and not jump around so happily whilst your sister literally hyperventilates? Or do it somewhere else. She had gone selectively deaf, so you can guess how that went. The 12-year-old and 9-year-old had early nights because they were upset, and the rest of us got to watch the 7-year-old perform a play she had made up during everyone else's meltdowns. She said it was Christmas-themed, but it was actually about the Titanic, except she thinks it got hit by a tsunami. For Summit, watched another movie. Then 7 had a meltdown because it got to 11 p.m. and I had the audacity to say, hey kid, it's bedtime, and she was hell angry that I was making the day end. Wrestled her into her PJs and she eventually fell asleep after she talked me through the events of the whole day as if I hadn't been there. Lamau. Anyway, she actually slept pretty good, only woke up like twice and the baby slept for a solid 6 hours, so yay. My mom didn't message, and my oldest sister only said Merry Christmas, and that she hoped I enjoy the day and emailed me a gift voucher, so that was nice. Expected more drama from my phone, so had it off most of the day, and it was a pleasant surprise when I went back on it. But part of me always stupidly hopes my mom might say something nice like, wish her kids a happy Christmas or something. Don't know why I even think it could happen, but it was a bit of a gut punch to get nothing at all from her. But what else is new? Every day I kind of hope she will message asking how the baby is so I can stop convincing myself that she would be dead if that woman didn't bring her to hospital. Like I just want mom to show a tiny bit of care or concern, but she never will, so I need to get over it. But in good news, my sister had a very brief convo with one of my dad's other kids, and it sounds like my dad is in prison for GBH. Apparently they thought it was GBH on my mom, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't, so I don't know how true the whole thing is. But I hope he is in prison, and that should mean my mom won't have any more kids, because for some reason she only wants to reproduce with my dad specifically. And even though the whole Christmas thing was a lot and I'm exhausted, it was still mostly really nice, and I have to remind myself that last year at Christmas, my mom had just ditched. We had zero money and no gifts, and our Nan went to spend the day at my aunt's, but we couldn't go because there are too many of us. So I spent the day trying to get the kids to stop looking out the window, waiting for my mom to come back with presents, whilst I sent her like 100 texts, and I didn't have Matt or my sister to help me. When I think of that, I'm really happy with how this year has been, and the fact we have moved is so surreal. This might be my longest post ever. I'm so sorry, LOL, if you have read this far. Thanks and hope you had a good Christmas.